Guys, welcome to my YouTube channel where I am going to be starting my Sims 4 Forever Save file. This is a really big project that I've been wanting to do for quite a while. I've always wanted to make YouTube content, especially Sims 4 content, which I have just never ever done. I thought, why not? Let's just start it. Always wanted to create my own Sims 4 Forever Save file. I didn't just because the save file that I was using I really loved. I really enjoyed it. And that was Florelia's save file. But she has gone ahead and said that she is no longer going to be updating that save file anymore. So this seems like the perfect time to actually start our own save file. So I'm really excited to do that. We are going to be starting in Willow Creek, which is based off New Orleans. I don't know how you say that, but that is what it is based off. So that is the first world that we are going to be tackling. I'm going to be going through and changing all of my settings in game. I'm going to be walking you guys through that. I'm also going to show you my Pinterest boards, everything that I have already kind of come up with that I would like to do in the save file. This is going to be split between YouTube videos and also streaming. So I'm going to try streaming some building, character creation, everything like that over on TikTok as well as YouTube and Twitch if I can. It will either be YouTube and TikTok or Twitch and TikTok. So if you want to go ahead and follow me on any of those channels, I will go ahead and link them all in the description down below, and then you can keep up with everything that I'm going to be doing for this save file. So I'm going to go ahead and load up the Sims 4. We're going to start with the settings and let's get into it. So first things first, the guide that I'm kind of going to be following for my MC Command Center settings is by Pleasant Sims. This is the Sims 4 MC Command Center settings for rotational gameplay. Now, the settings in the game are kind of going to work different from how they would originally, just because we need to turn off aging, we need to make sure that no autonomous relationships happen and things like that, because we need everything to kind of be how I create it in a sense. So I'm not going to go ahead and import the settings just because I kind of want to read through everything, and also there is going to be some different settings that I want to change and things like that, so I'm going to go ahead and use this as a guide. I will go ahead and link this down below, so if you guys also want to follow this guide, then you can use this as well. So here we are in the Sims. I'm going to go ahead and click on the computer here, and we're going to go here into MC Command Center. And this is going to bring up all of our MC Command Center settings, and this is what we're going to go through now and change practically. So initially we are just going to be working on Willow Creek. We're just going to be playing in Willow Creek. So I don't want any of the other worlds progressing or anybody aging or anybody moving out or in, anything like that. We want to kind of keep them worlds stagnant whilst we are working on Willow Creek, until I can get to them and actually renovate them and do everything like that. So this is why we are doing these MC Command Center settings this way. What I'm going to do is actually start by resetting all of my settings to default. I have a custom MC Command Center settings in at the minute, and I just think it would be easier to kind of change everything if it was back from how MC Command Center was originally. So we're going to go ahead and reset all of the settings. So quickly, I just had to save and restart my game after that because... Hello? Okay, I thought my game crashed for a second there. We have to practically save and restart after I have reset all of my settings back to default. So I'm going to go ahead and load back into the same family. We will start our MC Command Center settings from scratch practically. Okay, so we have gone ahead and loaded back in. The first one is in gameplay settings here. In console command settings, we're going to go ahead and enable full edit casts and testing cheats as well. So they're always going to be enabled. Practically all of these settings in here, we are going ahead and setting these for played only. Okay, here in the relationship settings, we're going ahead and allowing teen parenting. Relationship culling we are bypassing, and then I'm going to go ahead and increase the difficulty of friendship, just because in The Sims 4 I think it is so easy to make friends. At the minute I'm going to put it on -15, so that's going to be 150% harder to make friends. If this is too much, too little, we can go ahead and change that, but that is what I'm going to pop it on at the minute. I'm also going to change that for romance as well. We're going to go with 15 as well, so that is going to make romance 150% more difficult as well. So I think everything in here, the auto relationship settings should be turned off. The couple relationship change, this should all be set to 0. Yeah. And then breakup, move out, sim, I'm just going to put none at the minute. And move in, we want none of this in as well. Moving ages, they can stay at the minute. Moving romance level, that is fine. Romance moving percent is at 0 as well. The only thing that I am going to do different is in the money settings, the inheritance sim type. When a sim dies, this setting determines whether or not they leave any of their household funds to their spouse or children. The guide says to have this on active only, but I'm actually going to switch this to all. So whenever somebody dies in the save file, it will automatically go to their spouse or their children in there. Use parent skin tone is also enabled in case they have any custom skin tones, then this will be passed on, as well as parent skin details. This should also be enabled. And bypass blue babies, I'm going to pop that on as well. This is so they will not be blue, green or purple, because that's mostly aliens that have that, and I don't play with occults really. I try to keep it as authentic as possible. So I'm going to bypass blue babies. Okay, in MC career, we just have the one which is bypass played households, which I'm going to go ahead and enable. But I am also going to go ahead and edit some of these settings as well, because university I think is definitely a lot easier than it should be in The Sims. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this at -10, which makes university 100% faster, just because I do think that university is very easy. Okay, next up is MC dresser settings. So the first thing that we have to change is the facial hair settings. This is what age they can actually develop facial hair. So for facial hair ages, it's young adult by default, but we're going to add adult and elder in there as well. And then facial hair percent, so this is the percentage chance that included facial hair will be added to the sim when they age up. I'm going to have none for teen. Young adult, we're actually going to set this at 20%. I'm going to do adults at 30%, so that means that 30% of adults in the game will have facial hair. And then for elder, I'm going to do 10% because it is lower that elders will actually have facial hair than adults and young adults. If we need to change this in game, then we can go ahead and do that, but this is what is going to actually just auto generate. For situation outfits, we want female after career outfits. This is going to be set to everyday, so is the male. This means that after they have got home from work and they're changing out of their career outfits, they will just change into their everyday wear. We also have replace situation outfits. So city walk by, I'm going to go ahead and say that people are going to wear their everyday outfits. Date situations, this could be situational, but I'm going to go ahead and put the date ones on party. For rent street loungers, I'm just going to have that on everyday. Horse ranch dance hall, I'm just going to put on party. Humor festival situations, I'm going to put on everyday. Island living is going to be hot weather because most of the time it is hot. Actually, island living situations, I've changed my mind. I'm going to do it every day because I just know that something is probably going to have a cold day and then everybody's going to freeze to death, and we don't want that, so I'm going to pop them in every day. Rain walk by, we're going to do it every day as well. For romance, I'm going to go ahead and have this on party. Spice festival every day. Thrift store, I'm going to pop on every day as well. Occult settings at the minute, I'm just going to keep them as default, just because I don't tend to play with occults. When we renovate Forgotten Hollow, then I will come and mess with all of these settings, but just for now I'm just going to leave them default because I don't tend to play with occults anyway. Okay, these are going to be the most important settings because this is allowing moving and everything like that to be happening in the neighborhoods, which we definitely don't want. So for moving settings, allow homeless moving, we're going to go ahead and disable that. Homeless apartment percent, this is a chance that a homeless household will be allowed to move into an empty lot. We're going to go ahead and set that to 0. Open houses here, we're going to go ahead and set this at 100. So this is the number of residential lots to not move Sims in automatically within a world. So this is just setting it to the max so that practically whatever amount of lots are in the world that are free, nobody will move in there. Enable or disable bar nights. I'm going to go ahead and disable most of them apart from singles, ladies and guys nights, because we don't want no nights. We don't know ghosts or bears or aliens at the bar. We just want guys night, ladies night and singles night. Obviously, when we do actually play in the save file that I've created, these settings are going to be changing. We're going to allow automatic pregnancies, automatic breakups and things like that. They are all going to be turned back on, but just whilst we are making the save file, these are the settings that we are going to be using. Another setting that I'm going to change in the import tray settings is the import tray sim percent is going to be 100%. So that means that any sim that has to be spawned in, say to work at a food stall or something like that, they are all going to be from my gallery. Specifically, it's not going to be random generated townies that are going to be working at these stalls. Okay, so next that I'm going to do is maximum sims in a zone. So EA automatically has this default by 20 people can be on a lot at once. I'm going to change this to 40, so I'm going to double it. If this becomes too overwhelming, then I may have to change that. Okay, now MC pregnancy settings are also going to be a really big one that we have to change, just because we don't want any of our sims randomly getting pregnant or anything like that whilst I am doing the save file. Adoption percentage male, we're going to go ahead and we're just going to turn all of these off at the minute. So marriage percentage, we practically want all of these to be 0. So we want nobody going off and getting married or anything like that. We're going to set this all to 0 for now, just whilst we are creating everything ourselves. We don't want anybody autonomously doing anything. Okay, in other marriage settings, rename same gender. When marrying sims of the same gender change their last names to match, we're going to enable that. Other pregnancy, allow pregnancy aging, we're going to pop that on, just because obviously when you are pregnant you do age, so I want that to be a thing in the sims. Pause sims pregnancy. Specified sims will not progress in their pregnancies as long as they belong to a character selected below. So this is played sims. So say that we want to play with a different household whilst our sim is pregnant, then it will pause the progress on their pregnancies whilst we are playing with a different sim. Pause on playable labor as well, we're going to go ahead and enable that. That means when a non-active played household has a sim going into labor, a message will display and the game will pause, so we can go ahead and swap to the different playable character and we can play out the pregnancy if we like to. The pregnancy duration, the default value is set at 3. I'm actually going to set this at 7. So my sims will be pregnant for a full entire week. This is just because I feel like that gives me enough time to actually do things with the sim whilst they're pregnant. Gives me enough time to go and tell their family members about it, to have a baby shower and things like that. Because I have the pregnancy overhaul, so they can go and get scans, they can go to Lamar's classes, they can go and like shop for baby things like that. I want enough time to actually play out a pregnancy with my sim, so I'm going to have that set to 7 days. Okay, pregnancy percentage, these all have to be set to 0. We do not want any random pregnancies happening in the save file at the minute, so these are all going to be set to 0%. So allow monsters under the bed disabled. I hate that. It is the most annoying thing ever for monsters to be under the bed. Do you know how many times my sim has been woken up because there's a monster under the bed? I don't care. Go back to sleep. So in here, I'm going to actually change all of these to be enabled. I like my sim to be able to do things on their own. So if they want to autonomously be flirty with someone, I would love for them to do that. The only thing I am not going to have on is autonomous marriage. I don't want sims to get married. However, if they want to propose to one another, that's fine. But I want to plan an actual wedding out. So autonomous marriage is the only one I'm going to keep disabled. But everything else I am going to have on. So nothing in the woohoo settings I'm going to change at the minute, just because I have romance and pregnancy and things like that that will change how fertility and everything works like that. So we're not going to have anything on MC Command Center. The only things I am going to change is the woohoo skill. I like my sims having a woohoo skill, so the more that you woohoo, you become better at it. Autonomous try for baby I would also have on, so they can try to autonomously have a baby as well. Bed sharing, I'm going to go ahead and have this enabled, so sims will sleep in bed with each other even if they're not in a relationship, so they won't like kick other people out of the bed, if that makes sense, if you just want them to share a bed after maybe there's sometimes ridiculous times where Sims will woohoo when they're not in a relationship together. They'll fall asleep and then they'll kick the other person out of the bed. And it's like, no. So we're going to have bed sharing on. We're going to have privacy for woohoo on already and sleepy woohoo. So this is when an NPC is involved in bed woohoo between 10 p.m. and 4 a.m. They will go to sleep in that bed. So we're going to go ahead and enable that as well. So that is all the settings done and dusted. So MC Command Center should now not be changing anything. They should not have anyone autonomously moving out, getting married, anything like that. That should all now be controlled by me. So for any of these settings to take place now, I do need to restart the game again. And then when we come back in, I'm going to go ahead and create our save file and we are going to go and get that set up. Okay, whilst I am just loading up the Sims again in the background, I'm going to show you the save file tracker that I am going to be using whilst we are doing this save file together. So this is not Alex, I think that is how you pronounce it, Sims 4 save file tracker template. Now this has all of the worlds added up until Ravenwood. So if you do want to create a new world that's not in it, you can go ahead and click this new page. I've done this already. Create new world, and then it will practically load up with everything that you can customize yourself. But I'm just going to go ahead and show you in Willow Creek. So you have the world map, you have the explanation on what Willow Creek is, you have all of the EA households that are currently in that world. Any build ideas that you want, I have put a laundromat there because that is one of the first things that I do want to build in Willow Creek. And then down here you have all of the neighborhoods that are in Willow Creek. So if we go to Foundry Cove, this is a description of the neighborhood, and then we have all of the lot names that we have, so we can go ahead and change these if we do change the lot names, the lot sizes, the lot types, and then so many things that we can customize the lots with, so we can have how many bathrooms, any lot traits that we want to add. Again, with households, we can add the name of the households that we make, any descriptions, the household size, the type, and we just have so many things to customize. So this is the Sims 4 save file tracker that I'm going to be using. I'll go ahead and I will link it in the description for you guys, so if you do want to use this template as well, then feel free to. Okay, so just walking you through why I did it that way, why I went into a saved game and changed the settings rather than just going into the new game and doing it already, is because I didn't want to start a new game and Sims start spawning and things like that. I wanted to do the settings in an old save file that I had already, where Sims have already been spawned in, change all the settings, and then when we do the new save file, it's going to start with them settings imported into it already. Just makes it a lot easier. Nothing spawns, nothing autonomously happens like in the first few minutes, just in case. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to start a new game, I'm going to grab a random sim and get into Willow Creek. And here we are. This is Willow Creek at the minute. This is the random sim that I just kind of created and put some skin details on. She's very cute, but she will be getting deleted because we've not fully customized her. But this is what Willow Creek looks like at the minute. I'm so excited to demolish everything, fully fledge it out. So let's go ahead. First things first, we can go ahead and create a new save. And we're going to name this Victipie Forever Save File. If I could spell. There we go. It is created. We have created our save file. I'm going to go ahead and show you the calendar as well, because we're going to do a bunch of custom holidays. These aren't the holidays that we're going to have. Also, the seasons aren't going to be 1 week long. I'm going to change that as well. But I will change that when we actually start playing and we have done the calendar. I'll change the seasons then. But I'm going to go ahead and go to Manage Worlds, and we are going to go ahead and completely strip down Willow Creek, remove everything. So let me go ahead and just do that now. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and walk through some of the things that I already have planned for this save file. So we've completely ripped out Willow Creek apart from this park, because I'm going to go ahead and talk through the ideas that I have kind of for the big community lots like that. It was actually Miss Lollipop Sims that I saw this idea from, and I absolutely loved it. So we can actually change things like what we would have a park into a community lot. So you have the community space, the community garden, there's the maker space, and there's something else. Marketplace, is it? Yeah, the community market. So instead of having them as each of them, I would change this. Say this was the community garden. This would be based on spring. I like changing the roller rinks. Say if we was in winter, I would change that to the ice rink instead. We would have loads of things about that was like to do with winter. So we would have like hot cocoa. If it was autumn, I would do like pumpkin carving stations and things like that. So we would use each different lot type of this because there's 4. So the community garden would be the spring version of this park. So there could be little eggs everywhere where I would do for like Easter hunts and things like that. Then the makerspace would be summertime. So we could had inflatable pools everywhere. We could add the little, what are they called, like the water things that you can slide on. We can add them in. When it goes to autumn, that will be the marketplace, but it will be the same lot but with seasonal changes, if that makes sense. So Willow Creek is completely gutted out now. There is nothing here. If I go to manage households, these are the households that were in Willow Creek. So we have Spencer Kim Lewis, BFF, the Goths, and the Pancakes. All these, I'm going to keep all of the EA households. They're all going to be in there, but I'm going to be completely updating them, adding CC, everything like that. This is going to be a custom content save file. I have loads of custom content that I want to use. Also going to be using tool mods so much. So say in these custom spaces over here, let's just go to the nightclub. I want the world's bustling. I want so much going on. So as you can see, we have these like tables and chairs over here. We don't really have anything else in the world. We do have like this little bit of a playground over here, but the streets are just too clean. So I'm going to use tool mod. I'm going to put cars on the roads. I'm going to put bus stops there. Maybe we're going to have stuff all around. I maybe want some little stalls like the ones that we have in City Living. You can just go down out of your apartment and there'll be a stall and somebody will work in the stall and you can get food and stuff there. That is what I want practically throughout the world. The next plan that I have is every neighborhood is kind of going to be based off a price list, if that makes sense. So, or an income list. So this Foundry Cove is going to be the low income part of the world. This is going to be the middle income. This is going to be high income. And then these are either going to be public lots. This is where Spencer Kim Lewis lives. I've actually not evicted them, sorry. So these can either be custom lots or mansions. This is going to be the wealthy people. I just want a bit of realism to The Sims. Not everything is nice. I want to have people with struggles. I want to have grotty neighborhoods. So practically what we're going to have is different neighborhoods are going to have different income levels. Not all of them are going to be residential lots. Like in a low income neighborhood, probably wouldn't have a spa there, probably would have a laundromat, a little grocery store or something like that. In a higher income, probably have a spa in that neighborhood, and I'm going to organize it by that way. And the last thing that I'm going to show you is what I have saved for the Sims 4 Willow Creek world at the minute. So this is kind of the idea that we are going for. I don't have a lot of things saved at the minute, but we're going for like kind of these shotgun houses. This is the neighborhood that we're going to be working on first, is the Foundry Cove, which is going to be the low income neighborhood. So we're going to be doing these very skinny shotgun houses. That is what they're called in New Orleans. This is for the, is it the French Quarter? Yeah, so the French Quarter is this is like the shopping district. So that is what the shopping district in The Sims is going to look like, the French Quarter. This is what this is inspired by. So these shotgun houses are mostly going to be in the lower income side. That is probably the neighborhood I'm going to start in, because I already have an idea to have a shotgun house and a laundromat combined. So one Sim is going to live there. She's going to live in this house and she's also going to run the laundromat as well, which is really exciting. I'm really excited to start building that. That is going to be in a stream you can watch on TikTok or YouTube. I'm going to try streaming on YouTube for the first time. I normally do stream on Twitch, but I think that YouTube, whilst I'm trying to make content on here mostly, I'm going to go ahead and stream on YouTube. So if you want to catch me on Thursday, which is going to be the 16th, I am going to be streaming my first ever stream of this save file. But for now, I think this is the end of this episode. So yeah, thank you so much everybody for watching. I am really excited to start this save file, like genuinely so excited. This is something that I've wanted to do for the longest time. Something that I've been really scared to start as well is creating different content. I started by streaming Dead by Daylight or Valorant, things like that. Never ever would have thought about making Sims 4 content as much as I love to. It's so hard to swap your niche, kind of. It's really hard to swap in content, but I'm really determined. This is something that I really want to do. So if you could support by subscribing or liking this video, you can also go ahead and follow me on my other socials. I will link my TikTok and my Twitch down below. But yeah, I hope you all really enjoyed the video. I hope you're really as excited as I am to start this save file, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.